second graders, welcome back to the TV classroom. Today is Thursday, March 11th. And Mr. Kevin, that means we're almost halfway through March.
Wow.
It's going so fast. Before we know it, it's gonna be summer break.
And the weather's getting warmer.
It is getting warmer, it's getting nicer outside. When I go home, I take Oliver on walks because it's not all rainy and gross outside. It's great. So before we begin learning, friends, let's check in with our zones.
Okay.
How are you feeling today? What zone are you in? Where's your mind and where's your body and where are your emotions? Identify that and decide if any of those need to change or if you can even change them, but identify it so that you can be learning with us today.
How are your emotions today?
Well, I am in the green zone today, Mr. Kevin. Thank you for
wonderful.
asking. So I'm excited and I'm feeling relieved because I'm going to be getting my vaccine soon for COVID-19, and I am relieved that I'm going to be able to protect myself and my family by getting that vaccine, and I am really excited to get it. So I'm feeling a sense of relief, which is helping my brain not feel so scattered. So I'm in the green zone today. How are you?
Excellent.
Great.
I'm also going to get my vaccine soon because you showed me the website to go to, so. Yeah.
It's gonna be awesome. And then we'll be protected here at the TV classroom and it will be lovely. Okay, friends, what's missing? Take a look. What's missing? So we know that this is gonna be a problem where we're looking to see what? We're looking to see if the two expressions are equal or are the same. So what's 93 minus 23? 73. So if we need...
Or is it 70?
It's 70. Oh. Friends,
That's
I'm gonna
okay,
be
Mrs.
kind to
Wally.
myself.
Be
because
kind.
I'm gonna be kind. It's important to be kind to yourself. 93 minus 23 is 70. Thank you, Mr. Kevin. I hope that people at home, well, not the color I wanted either. Oh my. I'm hoping people at home were like, Mrs. Wally, that's wrong. It's 70. Because, you know, even teachers make mistakes, and we love it when students find them because it means you're really paying attention and you're really doing the thinking with us, and that's super important. So I hope you caught my mistake. Thank you, Mr. Kevin. So that means this other side, we also need to make 70. How are we gonna make it 70? Well, I know 7 and 3 make 10, so 70 and 30 make 100. Now it's a true equation. Let's try it again this time, and this time without making mistakes. So 133 plus 10 is what? So what's missing? If you said 10, ding, 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 you got it. Okay, see if you can do this one all on your own. What's missing? Is missing because 121 minus 10 is, nope, 21 is missing.
21, right.
Do you see, friends? When I went to go change that, I went, wait a minute, there's a 1 here, and I didn't subtract 11. Oh, I messed up. It's 21. Because 100, that's why checking your work and saying it and not just answering and moving on is so important in math. Like, we always check our answers for reasonableness. That's what we do when we go back through and we say it again. We're checking our work for reasonableness. So we have 111. Well, 90 plus 20 was 110, and I needed 1 more, which is 111. So our missing part was 21. I'm not gonna do it wrong this time, friends. What do you think we need to put as the missing part? 3. 163 minus 10 is 153. So 150 plus 3 is 153. We're gonna skip this one and move on to our learning target. Today we are learning to use place value charts and regrouping to add and subtract 3-digit numbers. We've been working on this. You've been working really hard. Let's see if you can put it all together today. Whoops. Find the unknown numbers. Hey, we're not gonna do that because we just did it. Miss Mendez's class has 243 storybooks. Then the class gets some new storybooks. Now the class has 372 storybooks. How many new storybooks does Miss Mendez's class get? What's this problem about? Yeah, we've got this class that's getting books. And they get more books, and now they have a total amount of books. So how would we draw that in a bar model? Let's see. They have some books, so we're going to make a bar. And then they get some new books. Whoops. They get some new books, and then they have a total number of books altogether. Let's read and find out where we put the question mark. Miss Mendez's class has 243 storybooks. Then the class gets some new storybooks. Now the class has 372 storybooks. How many new storybooks does Miss Mendez's class get? What's our question? What are we answering? Yeah, how many new books do they get? So where's that question mark gonna go? The books they have, or the books they get, or the total? Put it on your bar, and I'm gonna put it on mine. See if we put it in the same place. Because these are the books they have, and these are the new books. Okay, let's find the information and put it into our bar model. Miss Mendez's class has 243 storybooks. Then the class gets some new storybooks. Now the class has 372 storybooks. What's our information that we can use to help us solve this? Yeah, they have, it says has, but they have 243 storybooks. And now at the end, they have 372 storybooks. Go ahead, put those numbers where you think they're gonna go in our bar model, and then check it with mine. Okay, I'd like you to use this bar model to solve for the answer. You have 1 minute. Go ahead. Okay, friends, take a look. We'll get there. There we go. Okay, friends, you should have gotten an answer of 129, and here's how. I can't take 3 from the 2. 2 minus 3, I don't have enough. I will get a negative number. So I need to go over to the tens and ungroup a 10 from here into 10 ones. And 10 ones and 2 ones is 12. 12 minus 3 is 9. 60 minus 40 is 20. And 300 minus 200 is 100. So I add all those together, and I get 129. How many storybooks? 129. Let's look ahead at what we're going to be doing. Mr. Lumel's class gets 300 new storybooks. How many more new storybooks does Mr. Lumel's class get than Miss Mendez's class? Ooh. Write an equation that you could use to solve the problem. Okay, so hang on. How many new books did Miss Mendez's class get? Mr. Kevin, can we get the whiteboard out? So we're gonna be comparing, right? It says how many more. So we're gonna have a longer bar on top for the class that had more new books and a shorter bar on the bottom. So Miss Mendez had 129 and Mr. Lumel's class had 300. Who's gonna be up here? Yeah, L for Mr. Lumel's class at 300. Who's gonna be here? M for Miss Mendez's class at 129. Okay, so what equation could we use to figure out this part right here, the part that's more? What's the equation? Yeah, 300, whoops, wrong color, 300 minus 129. How many hundreds, tens, and ones will be subtracted from 300? 100, 2 tens. Remember, it's not 20 tens. It's not asking what number, what value. It's asking how many of the tens, not the value of the tens. So how many of the tens? 2 of them. And how many ones? 9 of them. So how many more storybooks does Mr. Lumel's class get than Miss Mendez's class? Well, what are we going to do to figure that out? Let's write that equation. 300 minus 129. Well, what's 300s? So we've got 300s and then 0 and 0. Then we've got 100 and then 2 tens and 9 ones. So let's pretend this isn't a place value chart. Hundreds, tens, and ones. What are we gonna do? Can we subtract here? No. Can we borrow from here? No, there's nothing there. So what do? We have to go from here first. So I'm not gonna have 300s anymore, I'm gonna have 200s, and I'm not gonna have 0 tens, I'm gonna have 10 tens. Oh look, now can I borrow from here? I can. I'm gonna take one of those new tens we had and put it over here. What's 10 minus 9? 1. What's 9 minus 2? 7. What's 2 minus 1? 1. So our answer is 171 more storybooks. Now let's do a hundreds drawing to check our work on that. So I start with 300s. Okay, I have to take away 129. I can take away the 100, but now I need to take away 29. What do? Well, I take this and I put it over here and I make 10 tens. Right? And then I take one of these and I put it over here, so this is no longer there, and I make 10 ones. Now, can I take away 29? Yeah, I'll take away the ones and then the tens. And look, I've got 10, 20, 30, 40, 50, 60, 70, 1. I've got 171. Did we do it? We did it, and we checked our work. So, quick lesson today. Do you want to see it one more way? Mr. Kevin, just show my whiteboard. Let's look at it one more way that you could possibly do this.
Okay.
The subtracting across zeros can be really, really tricky. So, let's look at that problem again. We know what the answer is going to be. Let's see if we can figure out another way to check our work. Don't forget about the open number line. We're on 300. We need to take away 129. Well, I can go back 100. What does that get me to?
200.
200. I can go back 20 from 200. What does that get me to?
180.
180. I can go back 9 from 180. What does that get me to? 171.
Nice.
Ta-da! So there's another way to think about it. When you're subtracting across zeros, if doing all that place value work just is too much for your brain, get out that open number line and just hop backwards. Or you could do this. because we can do this, can't we? Can't we say 129 plus something is going to equal 300? Can't we say the part that Ms. Mendez has plus the difference equals the total of Mr. Lumel's class? Yeah, we can. So 129 to 130 is one hop. Then 130 to 200 is 70. And then 200 to 300 is 100. And what's 100 plus 70 plus 1? 171. Isn't that cool? Yes, Mr. Kevin?
It's cool. You know, sometimes I think the number line hop is quicker than
It can be. I play a game called Pinochle with my family, and I'm always the person who does the scorekeeping because there's lots of subtracting and adding with zeros that happens in the scorekeeping. And you know what I do in my head? I use make 10 strategy and open number line in my head. I can see the number line in my head and I hop on it to figure out the answers.
So that's a lifelong skill.
Oh, yes, absolutely. Or like, let's say you're going to the store and you're going shopping and you have $150 in your budget for your food for 2 weeks. And you have to go shopping and you have to keep track of what you've put in your cart because it can't equal over $150. But you've got that zero to subtract, and those zeros are tricky. And so you can use open number line to add or subtract and figure out how much money you have left. It's a skill I use all the time in my life. Every day. I use subtracting with regrouping every single day in my life. So it's really a good skill. And it's good to have different ways to do it, to check your work too. Like you might want to just do the standard way of doing it, but you want to make sure you check your work with a different strategy to make sure you didn't forget. You guys have seen me forget things all the time. Right? I've made simple mistakes all the time because we're human and our brains sometimes forget things. And so it's really important to check your work. And yes, we use it all the time. So your assignment, page 441 and 442. Today we learned to use place value charts, which we did, with regrouping to add and subtract 3-digit numbers. We did that. We also looked at some other ways you can do it to check your work or to understand it better. We modeled problems, we wrote equations, we used efficient strategies to find a solution, and we checked our solution for accuracy. Nice work, second graders. Mr. Kevin, how can they send us anything here at the TV classroom? Maybe they want to send me a really challenging problem, and then I have to try to solve it on TV. That would be fun.
Ooh, that would be really cool. Stump the teacher.
Yeah, I love it.
So you can send those drawings or problems, anything you want, via email by taking a picture, putting it into an email. Ask your adult for help if you need it. TV Classroom at tacoma.k12.wa.us. You can always mail it to us here at the TV Classroom Studios, which is 601 South 8th Street, Tacoma, Washington, 98405.
Awesome. Thank you, Mr. Kevin. Now, friends, up next is going to be Miss Oslin. You're going to be doing your ELA work with her, so gather your ELA materials, take your break, and be back ready to learn when she comes on the screen. I hope you have a wonderful rest of your day, and I will see you next time. Bye, friends.
Rules. 1. You have 10 seconds to pick your crewmate. 2. A new timer will appear with an exercise for the crewmate you picked. 3. You will get 10 points for each correct crewmate and exercise you choose. 4. If you pick the imposter, you will lose all your points. 5. See how many points you can get. Good luck.
Hi, second graders. Welcome back from your break. Excellent job gathering your materials and being ready to learn. You can take your packet, your pencil, your reading notebook, put them off to the side. We won't need them yet, but go ahead and hold on to your learning buddy if they are going to help you focus today. Today we are learning that writers, that's you and I, use rich, descriptive language. And we're going to learn about that through a personal narrative. And we're going to notice that our authors write personal narratives to share part of their lives with their readers. And readers are drawn more deeply into the story by rich descriptive writing. I want you, as we read this story today, to listen carefully for descriptive details. And we're going to pause throughout the story and stop and visualize what's happening. We're really going to rely on that language that our author, Marsha Wilson Chall, has used, and then think about how we can use that language in our writing. The story we're going to read is Up North at the Cabin. And while I'm reading, think about, what do you notice about the author's use of descriptive language in the story? What words or combinations of words made you feel like you were there? And what words does the author use to describe what's happening, how the characters are feeling? And then, like I said, we're going to practice visualizing what's happening in our brain as we read. Up North at the Cabin by Marsha Wilson Chall, paintings by Steve Johnson. On the way up north to the cabin, the sunshine sits in my lap all morning. I know the way by heart, past the big walleye statue on Lake Mile Lacs, a few more miles to the live deer park, till all the trees are birch and pine, and houses are made from logs that look like shiny pretzels. Wow, even right there, she described the houses. They're made from logs that look like shiny pretzels. I can really picture that in my mind's eye. Up north at the cabin, I am a smart angler. Grandpa tries pink spinners, leeches, and dragonflies, but I know what fish like. I bait my hook with peanut butter and worm sandwiches, then jig my line and wait. Grandma serves my sunnies with fried potatoes and corn on the cob. We eat at the long table on the screen porch, sitting next to one another on the same side, so we can all watch the loons dance down the sun. Okay, we're gonna pause and practice doing some visualization. If you're comfortable, you can close your eyes and picture this in your mind as I reread this page. Or you can keep your eyes open and do the same thing. Use the language that our author is giving us to picture it and see if you can feel like you're a part of the story. Grandma serves my sunnies with fried potatoes and corn on the cob. We eat at the long table on the screen porch, sitting next to one another on the same side so we can all watch the loons dance down the sun. Now, loons are birds, so I'm picturing birds flying gracefully in the sun, the setting sun, and they're so graceful. It's like she told us they're dancing. That made me really be able to visualize it in my mind and make me feel like I'm a part of it. I can feel like I'm sitting at the table, eating a delicious meal. It's warm outside, warm enough to be sitting in a screened-in porch.
And it's quiet, I'll bet, too.
And it's what?
Quiet.
Oh, it's quiet, yeah. She didn't just say what it looks like. She included other sensory details. It's quiet. Up north at the cabin, I am a great gray dolphin. The lake is my ocean. Let's see if we can figure out how she feels on this page. I am a great gray dolphin. The lake is my ocean. How do you think she's feeling? Take some think time. and tell your learning buddy what you're thinking. Gus, I think she's feeling pretty confident, like being a dolphin in the ocean. They're not worried about swimming. They're very confident and graceful, maybe even. And look at, even in the picture, you can tell how she's standing, the power stance. From the dock, I dive headfirst, skimming over sand that swirls behind me, anchored to the bottom, upside down. I am an acrobat in a perfect handstand, then rising in a sea of air bubble balloons, I float on a carpet of waves. Up north at the cabin, I am a fearless voyager, guiding our canoe through the wilderness. The river spills over rocks and whispers to me, Kwishiwi, Kwishiwi, and rushes on to anywhere. Like a house on stilts, a bull moose stands in the shallows. His chest heaves and rumbles, mighty as a diesel engine. He shakes his great head, rocking branches of bone as he bellows a warning. I think this is a really good spot to stop and see if we can visualize it. Okay, if you're comfortable closing your eyes, go ahead and do so. I want you to use all your senses to see if you can feel like you're a part of the story. Like a house on stilts, a bull moose stands in the shallows. His chest heaves and rumbles, mighty as a diesel engine. You hear it like a train? He shakes his great head, rocking branches of bone as he bellows a warning. How do you think it must be feel to be so close to a moose? Kind of scary, but also kind of exciting. Ahead to the beaver dam, the Voyager commands. On the Portage Trail, we sling the canoe over our heads, its backbone to the sky. We trudge along, an armored beetle homeward bound. Up north at the cabin, I am a daredevil. Keep your knees bent, calls Uncle Roy. I clutch the tow rope, bobbing up and down in my yellow life vest. The motor sputters softly, waiting. My legs stiffen in the skis. Hit it, I yell. I think this is a great spot to pause, and I'm gonna reread and see if you can feel what the character is feeling, and visualize and try to feel the water and what that would feel like in your body, but also feel the emotion. Are you ready? Up north at the cabin, I am a daredevil. They must be feeling brave, which means that they might be a little scared at the same time. Keep your knees bent, calls Uncle Roy. Can you hear Uncle Roy calling that? Keep your knees bent. I clutch the tow rope, bobbing up and down in my yellow life vest. Okay, so the rope has a handle, so let's all clutch it, which means hold on to it. And you're in the water, so you're gonna kind of be off balance with the water rocking you. The motor sputters softly, waiting. Can you hear the boat as you're bobbing and you're kind of nervous and excited? My legs stiffen in the skis. That means they get rigid or tight. Can you feel that in your legs? Hit it, I yell. The boat roars forward. The tow line snaps tight. I leap from the water, riding the waves. Lean back, they scream. How much, I think? Then smack the water like an angry northern pike. I fall 3 times. I flip, picture that. I somersault, the splits. Want to try again, they ask? Papa skims the silver water on only one ski. Yes, I shout. You picture the silver water? Up north at the cabin, I am always brave, even in the dark woods, when blood thumps through my head like an old Ojibwe drums. It's said that they beat for 2 full moons when Chief Mukwaa's son rode to the sugar bush but never came home. I stand and listen and think I still hear them, or I hear them still. Okay, let's reread that page. See if you can almost hear the drums yourself. Up north at the cabin, I am always brave, even in the dark woods. Picture the dark woods. When blood thumps through my head like old Ojibwe drums. Think of a time when your heart has been beating so fast that you can hear it in your head like a drum. It said they beat for 2 full moons when Chief Mukwaa's son rode to the sugar bush but never came home. I stand and listen. I think I hear them still. Up north at the cabin, we are almost ready to go. I check under my bed, take down our clothesline, pack my snorkel and fins. Then one last thing, I look all around me, at the screen porch, at the creaky bench I hear at night, at the creaky branch I hear at night, at the chipmunk hole under the stoop, at the tufted island in the bay, at the spot in the sky where the North Star shines. I shut my eyes tight and fix them in my mind. I'm gonna do one more visualization here. If you're comfortable, close your eyes and see if you can see all of these items that our author lists. She describes them so beautifully, you can almost see them and hear them. Up north at the cabin, we are almost ready to go. I check under my bed, take down our clothesline, pack my snorkel and fins. Then one last thing, I look all around me at the screen porch. Do you see it? At the creaky branch I hear at night. You hear a branch creaking? At the chipmunk hole under the stoop, at the tufted island in the bay, at the spot in the sky where the North Star shines. You see the shining stars? I shut my eyes tight and fix them in my mind. So when I'm far away from summer, when frosted windows cloud the sun, I close my eyes and once again, I am up north at the cabin. We like that story, don't we, Mr. Kevin?
Indeed we do.
Very descriptive. Okay. Today we learned that writers use really rich descriptive language to get their reader to feel like they're there, to be able to see it in their mind's eye, to be able to feel what the characters are feeling. And that's what you are going to do today for your independent work. You're either going to begin a new piece, telling a new story, making sure that you include rich descriptive language, or you can go back into your writing notebook and revise a piece that you've already started, adding really good describers, descriptive language, so that your reader can feel like they're experiencing whatever it is, your personal narrative, along with you. We would love for you to be able to send that to us here at TV Classroom. Oh, another thing that you can do is, as always, you're going to continue your independent reading time. Look at the books that you're reading. Pull some words from the books. Use the books that you have as mentor text to help you add to your writing. And then we would love for you to send us your writing here at our TV Classroom. Mr. Kevin, how can our second graders send us their rich descriptive language writing?
You can send them to TV Classroom at tacoma.k12.wa.us. Ask an adult if you need some help. You can also stick them in an envelope and send them to our TV Classroom headquarters here, 601 South 8th Street, Tacoma, Washington, 98405.
Thank you, Mr. Kevin. Now, second graders, it's time for our affirmation. This is the time in the day when we say positive things about ourselves before we go off to do that independent work, that strong story writing. Today, your affirmation is, I am a strong writer. Practice saying that out loud with me. I am a strong writer. Excellent job today, second graders. I hope you have a great rest of your day, and I look forward to seeing you back here next time in our TV classroom. Bye.
Hey kids, we want to see your work. Just send your pictures and your stories to TV Classroom, 601 South 8th Street, Tacoma, Washington, 98405.